Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it may be for you. What a blessing to be alive in this exciting time. Here in Nayarit, Mexico, the weather is just amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right, this is broadcast number 182. And I've entitled it, Knickers in a Twist. It's part of a line from a movie. But I want to refer to a blog post that I came across this weekend, or this week actually. Well, this weekend. A post on that admin had picked up, and you know, I gotta say a thank you from the bottom of my heart for admin, or to admin I should say, for finding these nuggets, these things that are going on in the world, and bring them to our attention. The video that I came across, and I'm actually going to share the screen. Did you send my link out? Yeah, it was a video, and I didn't actually watch the whole video, because it is something that I actually, oh, I think I missed sharing the screen, or did I share it? All right, let's see if we can share the screen here for a bit. And we'll just go to that post, and I want to show you what I'm talking about. Now, I don't know if I'll get to this post here, which is actually an important post to get to as well, but right now, this hangout or broadcast is more focused on what I saw activity that leads to meeting all your abundance-based. All right, let's look at this one right here, because I believe that is the one that I'm talking about. Yes. Okay, so I'm not necessarily going to watch the movie. I think basically when you look at this here, you can already see what it's about. Now, what this video talks about is how artificial intelligence is replacing humanity in the world, taking over jobs that you see. The thing is, I believe I've mentioned it before, and that is that the powers that shouldn't be are ever pushing towards self-destruction. It's a suicide mission they're on. You know, it's interesting to say the least how Greed absolutely has no bounds whatsoever. It is completely self-destructive. So blinded by your own greed, they're so blinded by their own greed that they cannot make sense. They can't think. They're not able to think. They're not able to think. And so I noticed that the person that put this video together, he, in a number of occasions, he mentions how scared he is, or how he fears that that artificial intelligence is replacing people's jobs. And it's it is interesting how people get scared about these kind of things. I would like to share a verse with you from the Bible this morning. And I don't know what do people think of me when I share Bible verses in these hangouts and these broadcasts. I mean, of course, in the minds of most people, the Bible is this holy book that where it even says right in the book that they are holy scriptures, that they are inspired. These are inspired scriptures. Now, do we understand the word inspired? Do we understand what that means? You see, people have this idea that for some reason that, it's inspired. This is inspired by God, and so it's very, that's something that was back in the Bible times. These days, people don't, there's miracles don't exist anymore, and of course there is no inspiration anymore. People don't get inspired these days. No. That was in the scriptures. When people write a book today, that's not inspired. No. That's maybe they did a lot of research. Maybe they did all of that stuff, and then they wrote a book. But of course, inspiration. The word inspired. That's only for the Bible. That's only for this holy book. If you do your research and find out what does inspire actually mean, there are books that should we say would be written to explain how robots could be used in the food industry, how robots could be flipping burgers and worldwide. For instance, in these chains like McDonald's is one of those. It's everywhere, and of course that's the whole idea. That's the whole idea. You have a chain of stores owned by one, just a couple of people, and it's spread out all over the world. And then and then you have enough power under, in your control to replace all of those employees with robots. That's the idea. But guys, don't get your knickers in a twist. Don't be scared. Don't be fearful of this. This is an opportunity. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity, not a... Why would you worry? Why would you worry if McDonald's is replacing all of the employees with robots? Why would you worry about that? You don't have to eat at McDonald's. Nobody has to eat at McDonald's. Nobody has to eat there. They can have all the robots they want. Nobody needs to eat there. Where are you going to eat? Put up your own restaurant. Put up your own restaurant. And you'd have a place for people to come and eat where they're not getting the food from dead robots. Now, back to that verse I wanted to share from the Bible. I don't have it exactly word for word by memory. That's, but I think I will. I think when I share it, I think you will understand or know what verse I'm talking about. Let me actually go and see if there's anybody on. I'm on the wrong page here. Now, I have posted the link here. You're welcome to join me if you'd like. And I'd be happy to, to discuss some of this stuff with somebody. But as I watched the video, and this person in the video, he was continually sharing how scared he was of robots taking jobs everywhere. And what happens? What happens when you are scared and you tell everybody how scared you are? How many more people are going to tune in to your fear? Did you know that fear perpetuates situation? Always. Always. You see this over and over and over and over again. Churches particularly, people, members of the church, are in hospitals, and people in the church, they request prayer. So they pray for the sick people in hospital, seeing them in the hospital ever getting sicker. You know what the Bible says? Where two shall agree as touching a thing, it shall be done. Where two shall agree. To what? To what? Two people? Or is it where two shall agree, your mind and your words, your thinking and your words, where the two shall agree as touching a thing? When you pray for somebody who is in hospital and you in your mind see them in the hospital while you are praying for them to get healthy, you are killing them. You are not helping them, you are killing them. If you want to help them and you're praying for their health, then see them enjoying life at home where they are healthy, telling you about the miraculous healings that they experience. Now, those two agree. Your desire for them to be healthy and your prayer for them to become healthy, they both agree. But when you pray for them to get healthy and you see them getting sicker and eventually just dying in the hospital, you are perpetuating their sickness. Okay, the same thing with robots. We can put as much fear thought into this as we want to, and we're going to perpetuate the situation. But that's not the answer. That's not the answer. Let me tell you something. I've been on a couple of occasions now been saying that I want to share from a verse, and here it is. The Lord God breathed into him, into his nostrils, what? The breath of life, and man became a living soul. The breath of life, and man became a living soul. Let's take a closer look at those few words. The Lord God, creator of the universe. Even atheists, it's not possible for an atheist to get past the fact that everything comes from one place. There is a higher power that makes that blade of grass keep on growing. There is a higher power that when a tree is planted and it's starting to sprout, the seed is planted and it's starting to sprout, that it soon comes up to the top to come through the surface. And when it reaches the surface, it will push aside pebbles, it will, and if it's something too big to push aside, it will expand and grow around it. But the principle of life it just happens. And may I dare say that it happens without any strain or without any worries. There's no worries involved. The Lord God breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. A living soul. Let me tell you something. Man is a living soul. Science has proven this in so many ways, that man is a living soul. We can have 1 million or 1 billion or 5 billion or 7 billion, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the number is. Every one individual is a living soul. If there is a birth of 5 children, every one of those is a living soul. Every one of those has their own DNA, completely their own DNA. It's a living soul. You see, the powers that shouldn't be They have been working against humanity for hundreds of years, to destroy that in humanity, to hide, to have humanity blend as one. Schools have been set up. People all under the same tutorship, all exposed to the exact same books, and all under the same restraint of training and teaching, to train out of them that they are a living soul, but rather to train into them that what you are thinking don't matter. Your mind doesn't matter. No, don't use your mind. Don't you dare bother thinking. We doing the thinking, we are giving you all the orders, and that's what you do. Guys, that's not a living soul concept. That's not the concept of a living soul. That's not freedom. That's bondage. That's bondage. And humanity is beginning to wake up to this, to that fact that that is bondage. We need to recognize that every individual, the breath of life has been breathed into every individual, and every individual, as a result, is a living soul. When a baby is born, that first breath of life, out of the atmosphere, and not only that, I believe that already, possibly before birth even, they are already, the ID, each individual already has its own, his or her own identity. Don't get me wrong there, but I'm just simply referring to a verse in the Bible. And so now, let's talk about this a little bit more, about the individual, about the how should we say, the living soul. You see, inspiration doesn't happen up in heaven somewhere, and then it falls down here to earth, and somebody happens to pick up. That's a page that it's an inspired page somehow. Let's put it away, and then you find, there's more people that have found these inspired pages. Nobody has written them or nothing. It's just that these pages, they're full of print, and it's been inspired, and obviously not a living person wrote them or nothing. They're inspired. It's inspiration. It's far higher than what any human could ever be thinking. Let's just realize that inspiration happens in the mind of a human. And if you are more than 10 years old, you have had many inspirations yourself. You've had many inspirations yourself. Now, am I saying that the Bible, that it's wrong? No, that's not what I'm saying. I believe the Bible has very much truth, and I believe very much of the scriptures that are written is absolutely inspired from on high. From on high, meaning that the very life principle which created the entire universe and all that's living and all the visible and invisible, where all things come from, as we engage our mind and think these things through, we get inspirations. We get inspirations that give us a deeper and ever deeper understanding. The more we think about understanding it, the more we look at it as a problem we can't solve, then the mystery becomes bigger and bigger. The more we engage and begin to understand it, the clearer the understanding comes. This is all inspiration, folks. That is inspiration. Now, let's get back to this robot thing for a little bit, because people see it as a problem. And the more they see it as a problem, the bigger of a problem it'll become. But if you turn around and you see it as an opportunity, then it's no longer a problem. It's no longer a problem, it's actually an opportunity. So let's not fear, let's not worry about it. Let these people who build robots, let them build robots. Let them spend all the money they want into robots. And let them replace all of the McDonald's. Let them replace all of the employees with robots. And then we can show them that nobody needs to eat there. Nobody needs to eat there. We can all create our own restaurants and eat, eat food that is not made by robots. You see, that gives us work. While there are many people employed building all these robots, we can show that industry that robots become an end in themselves. That they're not a means to an end, they are an end of themselves. You see, we're always working either towards an end on itself or a means to an end. So what am I saying by that? If we want to create a means to that end of that becoming an end in itself, then what we do is we start building local, self-sustaining communities. Local, self-sustaining communities. What do I mean by local? Wherever you are, right near where you are. Just start talking to people, get people involved, and start building a local, self-sustaining community. One that doesn't need anything from outside. It is self-sustained. And folks, the more we do this, the more those robots will disappear. You see, the industrial which has been created to enslave humanity ever deeper and deeper. It will only continue to do so as long as we fear of it more happening. But when we begin to see it as an opportunity to move away from that kind of stuff and start creating local self-sustaining communities which was actually meant in the first place how we should live. Helping each other, you know, having a local community where we have everything we need. We have shops for, you know, where people are employed to keep equipment going. We have, you know, we have agriculture where people are employed to grow the food for local. We have, you know, local dairy, all preparing, where all dairy is being prepared. Nothing needs to be shipped far away somewhere. Doesn't need to be. Everything can be done locally. Everything within one community. Can you see how that would leave everybody occupied with abundance? Now, for the last couple of minutes here, I would like to just talk about cryptocurrencies. Because it is the debt-based monetary system that has created the world that we now have. And of course, they are right now scared shitless because the cryptocurrency seems to be taking over. And of course, we can already see that the manipulation of the cryptocurrency is already happening quite a bit. And they're not going to let off. They're not going to go away. These people are not creators. They don't know how to create. They're not even thinkers. They're not even thinkers. And I'm not going to go into it. I could actually go into that on this broadcast as well. I don't know if I even want to, you know, go into that much, but these people aren't even human. They're not even human. They might be, there is maybe a mixed breed kind of thing, but it's not. They don't have the capability of creative thinking. The only thing that they're able to do is manipulate, and we can always see that. We've seen this for years. We've seen this for many years. And you're probably staring up into the sky right now, and you're like probably thinking, well, where did we see this? We saw it in President Bush. We saw it in Obama. We saw it in all of these, you know, the inside jobs they did, and always very, very much cover it up. We can easily see they don't know how to think creatively. Only destructive. Only destructive. It is a destructive force. It is a destructive thinking. And they have always been working by manipulation and, you know, lies and manipulation and deceit. That's what these people do. That's what they do. That's all they know to do. And of course, always feeding on the technology and the creativity of humanity. And this is, you know, we could say that that is sad, but you know, it really is not. It doesn't really matter. Because those of us who are creative thinkers, those of us who can create enough of an influence to draw out the creative thinkers in humanity, we can help speed up the process massively, massive. that of building local communities. Now, what does this have much to do with cryptocurrencies? Well, the cryptocurrency market is under manipulation quite a bit already. And as I mentioned, they're not going to let off. But let's look at this a little bit more closely here, because as we see things unfolding, I think if we use our creative thinking and we allow inspiration to come into our mind and show us how this will play out, what will happen. And of course, people probably have their own way of thinking, and I think many people don't even give it any thought. I think many people are maybe more or less just waiting and sitting kind of in fear as to what is all going to happen and this and that. I don't know. You can put yourself in the place where you fit. You know, it really is up to you. But here's the thing. As more and more smart contracts and all of this is created, it is the utmost of foolishness. It is stupidity to just without end. All of that. All of that. It is now. You know, I don't want to be negative about it, because nothing is good or bad except thinking makes it so. Nothing is good or bad except thinking makes it so. And so obviously you can use your own active mind and create your own thinking, create your own thoughts about all this. But let's not be worried about any of that, because there is absolutely no need to worry. Because for one thing, it doesn't matter how much foolishness man engages in. Infinite wisdom is always there. Infinite wisdom is always there. Any person can turn around, do a 180 in his mind any day. Any day. So we can think about how bad this is. We can be scared about it. We can just visualize it over, you know, taking over everywhere. But people, most of these are jobs we don't need anyways. The jobs that robots are taking, we don't need them. People don't need those jobs. People don't need those jobs. There's a better way of living. There's a better way of living. Now, I keep on seem to, be sidetracked from the cryptocurrency that I was going to talk about. You see, the way cryptocurrency, the way I see it playing out right now, is that I think there is no doubt. I think we see it clearly that there is really no doubt that that the cryptocurrency market is definitely going to replace the old system. It's written all over, should we say, all over the cosmos, we could almost say. And yet most of humanity doesn't even know about it. But it's, when we look at what the stock markets are doing, we look at how the banksters, what they're up to, how they're so desperately manipulating the cryptocurrency market now. They are they are at their wits' end, pulling every last string they can think of. Okay, but the crypto market is taking over. Let's just realize that it is taking over, and this provides massive opportunity for people who tune into it early. This is massive opportunity, people. But make no mistake about it, the manipulators, they are going to work very hard to manipulate all of that. And so they want to obviously, how should we say, make all of that legal, make all of that, everything be very, very manipulatively legal. And, you know, because their aim is to bring every person under their control. And of course, they have already set up the industry to do that. And what they don't see, trust me, these people are not capable of seeing that. Humanity is going to wake up and start building local, self-sustaining communities. And it will make all of that shit obsolete. It will make all of their robots and all of their smart contracts and all of that crap is going to fall apart. And we will live in a world of TBC and Kringle cash. Of course, it's not, you know, there are people that are under such manipulation that there are some people that may never see it. I don't know, that's easily possible. But what I'm saying is, for those that do, and those that seek freedom, and those that actually want to live a meaningful life, the opportunities are here. The opportunities are here. We can do that. We can do that. It's going to take a lot of you know, of waking people up. It's going to take a lot of you know, but there are already now so many movements that are working towards that end. If you're watching this video here and you think that I'm just alone here talking about this kind of stuff, oh, there are many people already working on this. I'm not nearly alone. And the new world is emerging. It's emerging. But you know what? Let those manipulators be very busy manipulating what they can manipulate, while we can be busy moving forward with that which they cannot manipulate. And that is the TBC. That is the TBC monetary system. And all of the self-sustaining communities that are being built, those people, they have a goal, or we have a goal, should I say, and we, whether we know each other or not, we're already starting to create that community worldwide. So don't get your knickers in a twist. It is okay. Let the manipulators manipulate. It's okay. And let us build a world that is actually human friendly. Thank you so much for watching. And I wish you a wonderful, wonderful day, and wealth and happiness. to everyone. Peace.